everyone, it's me, Miss Molly, and I'm here to tell you all about winter solstice. There are so many holidays to celebrate in December, in this brand new winter month, that we felt like we couldn't do them all justice. But they all have a root in the winter solstice, an ancient holiday celebrated by people all over the world for thousands of years. The winter solstice is the longest night. It is when we have the least amount of hours of day, and it is cold and dark. So people for thousands of years have been bringing light and warmth into their homes. Today we're going to explore all these different celebrations of the winter solstice, which always falls between December 19th and December 25th every year. It's a magical, mystical time where anything can happen. Enjoy! From the very beginning, our lives have been cyclical. They go in a circle. At the solstices, the sun reaches its highest or lowest point in the sky, giving us the longest or shortest day of the year. At the equinoxes, day and night are almost equal. Spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, winter solstice. Round and round they go. If you live on a planet that circles the sun, your time is governed by the patterns of light and dark, summer and winter, warmth and cold, and of course, life and death. Once our forebears learned to farm, they planted and harvested at the equinoxes, but it was the solstices that caught their attention, the extremes. They watched their days shrink from the bright abundance of high summer to the bleak, dark cold of winter. And they invented rituals to make sure light would come back again, to bring the new day, the new year, the rebirth of life. The rebirth rituals have become traditions we still celebrate, whether or not we remember where they come from. Some of them are so old that only their monuments remain. On the morning of the winter solstice at the great earthwork Newgrange in New Country Myth, Ireland, the day's first beam of sunlight shines through a passage that Neolithic people built there 5,000 years ago. And for 17 minutes, the sun lights up a dark room, filled with the sunshine of the shortest day. It is a universal impulse to celebrate light as a symbol of continuing life. Candles in those Christmas trees belong to the same family as the menorah of the Hanukkah or the oil lamps of Diwali. Lights of hope, reaching for the triumph of good over evil. Now we'll learn how they celebrated winter solstice in ancient Germany and Europe. Yule, or Yuletide, is a festival historically observed by indigenous Germanic peoples. Scholars have also connected these celebrations of Yule to the wild hunt, the god of Odin, and the pagan Anglo-Saxon Mandarin-Heat. This is a time where people gather and feast, often killing lots of their livestock so they don't have to feed them during the winter. They will eat these animals in a giant, jubilant feast. There is also the tradition of the Yule log, where you find a giant tree and burn it in your fireplace from stump to tip over the course of 12 days. So there's also lots of singing and merriment. Many of these traditions have been taken over by Christmas, but before Christmas, it was Yule. Although no one knows exactly why the ancient circle of Stonehenge was built, there is no denying it lines up with the movements of the sun. Archaeological research suggests winter solstice festivals happened at Stonehenge, and modern revelers have taken up the tradition, gathering at dawn the day after the longest night to witness the magical occurrence of the sun rising through the stones. Every year, people in Austria celebrate the winter solstice with Krampus, a half-demon, half-goat counterpart to Santa Claus. Krampus is a figure that punishes bad children, according to Germanic folklore. The traditional Krampus run in Austria is believed to ward off bad spirits near the winter solstice, but is also a source of entertainment. Like many days we celebrate, ancient festivals observing the winter solstice have merged with newer traditions to create the holiday season as we know it. In Scandinavia, St. Lucia Day on December 13th was the solstice in the old calendar, marks the start of the Christmas season with a procession of young women in white robes, red sashes, and wreaths of candles on their heads, lighting the way through darkness of winter. Honoring St. Lucy, this festival incorporated pagan winter solstice celebrations marked by bonfires, ginger snaps, saffron-flavored buns, and glögg are also traditionally served. The ancient Persian festival, Shab-i Yalda, like many winter solstice holidays, celebrates the end of shorter days and the victory of light over darkness. Meaning birth, Yalda is marked by family gatherings, candles, originally it was fires that were lit all night, poetry readings, and a feast to get through the longest night of the year. Nuts and fruits, including watermelon and pomegranates, are traditionally eaten. Legend has it that eating the fruits of the summer will protect you from illness of the winter. Winter solstice in China has been celebrated for thousands of years. The holiday called Zongji is usually celebrated on December 21st, 22nd, or 23rd, and it is celebrated with family gatherings and a big meal, including rice balls called tangyan. Thought to mark the end of the harvest season, the holiday also has roots in the Chinese concept of yin and yang. After the solstice, the abundance of darkness in winter will begin to be balanced with the light of the sun. In South Korea, they also celebrate Dongji, otherwise known as Little New Year, with the traditional eating of a red bean porridge called patjuk. Red is considered to be a lucky color, so the dish is meant to keep away bad spirits while embracing good wishes for the coming year. Other Dongji traditions include giving calendars, as Korean kings used to do, and socks. This is the day Koreans wish for snow. Cold weather on the winter solstice is said to bring a bountiful harvest, but warm weather will not. Winter solstice in Japan is called Toji and has a few interesting customs associated with it. Traditionally, a winter squash called kabocha is eaten, and one of only a few crops that would have been available. People take a hot bath with yuzu citrus fruits, and it is believed to refresh the body and spirit, ward off illness, as well as soothe dry winter skin. Apparently, rodents called capybaras also love yuzu baths, and it's become popular for Japanese zoos to throw the fruit into the warm waters as the animals soak in the winter solstice. In Guatemala, the festival of Santo Tomas is celebrated for a week leading up to the winter solstice in December 21st, mostly because it's a mix of Catholic ceremony with native Mayan rituals that might have been timed to the solstice. Today the feast is marked with brightly colored traditional costumes, masks, parades, fireworks, and music. The highlight is the death-defying custom of the flying pole dance, where someone climbs a 100-foot pole, tying on a rope and jumping off the top. Yikes! The indigenous Hopi people of present-day northern Arizona celebrate the winter solstice as part of their religious tradition of Kachina, which spirits represent the natural world. In the Soyal solstice ceremony, led by a tribal chief, the sun is welcomed back to its summer path with ritual dances. Gift-giving to children, prayers for the coming year, singing, and storytelling are also part of the festivities. Prayer sticks and kachina dolls are often made in preparation for the celebration. To honor the many cultural traditions that celebrate the winter solstice, Vancouver's Secret Lantern Society created the city's Solstice Lantern Festival. Participants can attend workshops to make their own lantern, and on the night of the solstice, march through the city, culminating in fire performances. People can also try to find their way through the labyrinth of light, a maze of 600 candles that invite visitors to let go of old thoughts and find new possibilities for the new year. Fire, needed to light the dark days of winter, has traditionally been part of winter solstice celebrations. The modern-day Burning of Clocks festival in the seaside town of Brighton, England, took up that notion for its yearly solstice parade, bonfire, and fire show. People wear costumes representing clocks and the passage of time, with lanterns made of wood and paper to the beach. The lanterns are burned in a huge bonfire, symbolizing the wishes, hopes, and fears that will be passed into the flames. This is a newer winter solstice tradition. I hope you enjoyed our travels around the world, learning about how humans for thousands of years have been celebrating the winter solstice phenomenon. How will you be celebrating in these dark times? What kind of light and merriment will you bring into your house? There are so many different traditions, and every family is different. I would love to know how you will celebrate the winter solstice season. You can please make a short video with you, your family, or anything you want, and tell me how you celebrate this dark time of winter. We all need a little bit of light right now, and I think it would be so cool to share our personal experiences. Please email me a short video, and I will display them for all to see. Let's light up the night and welcome the longer days to come.